Freedom of speech is a human right, and a hallmark of democracy is where debate between competing ideas is seen as healthy. We argue that there are times where the right to free speech can be misused, and to protect the role free speech plays in society, censorship is necessary where content is offensive, intended to incite violence or prejudice, or where arguments are deliberately made to confuse or distract. Mechanisms already exist in modern democracies to enable this. New Zealand's Human Rights Act of 1993, Section 61, Paragraph 1c, states it is unlawful to broadcast messages which are threatening, abusive or insulting towards groups based on colour, race, ethnic or national origins. In a New Zealand 2014 study, Morris found that in complaints to the Broadcasting Standards Authority about the reporting of religion, freedom of expression often won out over the perceived offence to religion. In the same study, he found that stories often contained a reinforcement of stereotypes resulting from inadequate knowledge of ethnicity and religion. Morris proposed promoting awareness of these issues and advocated for strengthened moderation of media standards. In a study conducted the same year, Hoitari discussed the moderation of comments in websites. Often comments are racist, misogynist or hateful, and Hoitari explores the mechanisms used for filtering. These examples show censorship can be applied through a combination of law, content moderation and reporting standards. In these studies, content that discriminates is easily identified. However, subtle but increasingly common misuse is when free speech is used to confuse. The function of free speech is to allow debate on issues which are important to society. Those entering into the debate have a responsibility to be sincere in their arguments. In a 2016 study, Prakas argues that people who deny the effects of climate change do not follow these criteria. They often use false or misleading research and enter into debate not in good faith, but rather to confuse or deflect. She argues this causes harm by giving leaders a reason not to enact the changes necessary to stop global warming. Her argument is as follows: climate denialism is not beneficial because its main goal is to produce doubt, not truth. I argue that bystanders' costs outweigh participants' and audiences' interests, and that this is an argument for a statutory ban on climate denialism. Therefore, an important decision for society is which content should be censored. Bader, in 2014, proposed a model for decision-making where more universally accepted restrictions to free speech, such as human dignity, sit alongside structures which consider the local context, such as the status of minority groups and the relative power of speakers and targets. The decision for whether an argument is acceptable or not is then based on whether it protects both universal rights and non-discrimination within the local context. This provides an alternative structure for censorship decisions, which could be expanded to include whether an argument is made in good faith. Nobody will be happy if their right to free speech is censored. However, it is important that free speech correctly performs its function, and there are times where acts should be censored. Issues such as global warming, where futile debate is preventing the issue being addressed, or discriminatory speech, demand a censorship approach like that outlined by Bader. This would ensure that substantive debate would trump over sensationalism and the function of free speech is protected.